Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om
Nithyanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandam, with the divine grace and blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, we are so proud and happy to bring you the live Mandagapadi offering in the KAILASA, Madurai, to Sri Somasundareshwara Swami, Meenakshi Devi, who are going to come at the entrance of our premises in a few moments from now. We're so happy to share with you this live feed and give all of you the opportunity to have the darshan of Meenakshi Sundareshwara during this grand festival of Aavani Tiruvizha. This is a grand festival celebrating the coronation of Somasundareshwara Swami, or the Sundara Raja Pandyan, as the ruler of the Madurai Samrajyam. Yes, it is the Sundareshwara, the form of Paramashiva, who came from Kailasa to live, and he married Meenakshi Devi, and both of them ruled the whole cosmos from this very place of the Madurai Samrajyam, from the Kailasa, one of the Shamala Pita, Sarvajna Pita. And today we're going to be celebrating one of the most beautiful Leelas of Paramashiva in the Tiruvilayadal Puranam that depicts all of the Leelas of Somasundareshwara Swami. Today's Leela is something that is so beautiful to hear. And we will be getting into the Leela itself, but in a few moments we will be going to be seeing the darshan of the Panchamurti, who are the deities of the Utsav Vigrahas of Somasundareshwara themselves. Utsav Vigraha in Hinduism is a living being and a living deity. The deity comes out during the festival, and it gives the darshan. Yes, when in Hinduism we believe that we can live among the gods, and the gods themselves come to our home and they bless us and shower us with all of the boons and everything that we ask for. So whatever we want to have in our hearts right now, and as a prayer to Soma Sundareshwara and Meenakshi Devi, who are literally the mother and father, the founding fathers of the whole enlightened Hindu civilization. Yes, and we want to give them the respects and the gratitude, because everything that we have as far as the Hinduism that we know of today has originated from their very creation of the enlightened civilization. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, is the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam in the lineage of those that is established by Meenakshi Sundareshwara themselves, of the spiritual kingdom of the Kailasa on the Shyamala Pita, Sarvajna Pita, and we're so glad that they're hosting the Aavani Tiruvizha beautifully in their center, and also sharing the darshan of Meenakshi Sundareshwara. Of course, they are continuously serving the Annadhanam. This the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's very decision to revive Hinduism as per the way that Meenakshi Sundareshwara themselves ordained thousands and thousands of years ago, to do the worship of Paramashiva through the Annadhanam. Yes, whenever anybody comes to the premises of Kailasa and the Shyamala Pita, Sarvajna Pita, they are welcomed as Paramashiva. As all of the Puranas and the stories of the Shivanary hours or the 9 Mars go, we always worship the devotee of Paramashiva as Paramashiva themselves. So whoever comes to have the darshan of Meenakshi Sundareshwara in the main temple, or the representation and embodiment of Meenakshi Sundareshwara themselves, so we connect with them as that, and we serve them the food. And that is the way that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving the original mandate by Meenakshi Sundareshwara to give continuously Annadhanam and maintain the spiritual sanctity of the whole place, of the whole city, and the spiritual context is what is kept alive. The promise and the presence of Meenakshi Sundareshwara is felt in the Kailasa Madurai, because of just the revival with which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is bringing back the original instruction, original message from Meenakshi Sundareshwara. And beautifully we are seeing that those who come to Kailasa, the Shyamala Pita, the Kailasa Madurai, experience that very divine presence of Meenakshi Sundareshwara as they would feel inside the main temple, of course, but the very spiritual aspect of it hitting you, the devotion raising and becoming a part of your very existence and very lifestyle, that all that is what is taken care by the Kailasa, the Shyamala Pita, Sarvajna Pita, the Kailasa in Madurai. So in a few moments from now, we are going to be seeing the darshan of the Panchamurti. Until then, we can understand also the Leela that Paramashiva is gracing today. He comes as in the disguise of a jewel seller. Yes, he comes in the disguise of a jewel seller. And we've always heard stories of Paramashiva coming as a sannyasi and also gracing many people in their lives and giving them the test, the true test. Is their devotion strong enough? Is their faith and is their tyaga strong enough? And always Paramashiva comes to test them. But in this one, it is a beautiful way that Paramashiva comes to the rescue, in fact. And this story goes to a Pandian known as Veera Pandian, who had many wives and his queen also. And amongst his many wives, he had sons, but he was not able to have a son with the queen of the Pandya Desha. And it was unfortunate. And after that, they did a lot of prayers to Somasundareshwara Swami, did many vratams together, and finally were able to have a prince and have a son. But unfortunately, Veera Pandian was not able to live long enough for the crown prince to be groomed properly. But because he had a sudden death in a hunting trip when he had gone by, he was literally attacked and mauled by a fierce tiger. And then Veerapandian was found no more. And then the whole kingdom, unfortunately, the sons that he had with the other wives immediately started plundering the treasury and took away the wealth and even the king's crown from the treasury. And then in that moment, even the ministers decided, of course this happened all secretly, and then the ministers decided to give the crown prince his king and make him the king and rule the king and have him rule the kingdom. But the crown prince and all the ministers, to their dismay, found that the entire treasury was completely scarce of all of its jewelry and treasure and even the king's crown. They did not even have the wealth to be able to make another one. So they were in so much despair. Where were they going to get the wealth back? Where is the crown going to be made back? So then they were going on the way to the temple to pray to Somasundareshwara to revive all of their wealth back, all of the wealth that was there originally from the ancestors and the king's wealth. Of course, and in that moment, the Somasundareshwara himself comes in the form of a jewelry seller or a gems seller, a gems trader. In fact, he tells them that wants to show them the wealth, and he spreads a black cloth on the ground and shows them the various types of jewels, the emeralds, the rubies, the diamonds, the amethyst, and all of these different kinds of jewelry. He displays to them and shows. And of course, they ask him the origin of these so many precious jewels at a time. They're not able to understand. Then the Somasundareshwara, who's in disguise as a jewels trader, tells them the story of a asuran named Balan who had a boon from Paramashiva that if he was to die, and he should be died from destiny, he should not be killed in any battle. And like this, he had a boon from Paramashiva. So Balan had the invincible power, but he had also a boon that after he would pass away, his body should become gems, and Navaratnas should be made, would happen from his body. So in that way, he has a boon. And in this great way of becoming invincible, the Balan goes and conquers the Swargaloka and takes over the throne of Indra. In that moment, Indra creates a knowing finally that Balan has a boon, that he can be dead. And Indra plots to get rid of Balan. And in that way, Balan is also, Indra confronts Balan and says, "Beautifully, you have conquered us. Now you should ask any boon from me." In that moment, of course, Balan is overfilled with pride after conquering Swarga. He thinks Indra is a fool, and he says, "No, I should give you the boon because I am now the king of the Swarga." And in that, he falls for Indra's stick, and Indra says, "Well, I'm going to do a Mahayaga, a beautiful fire sacrifice at Mount Meru. And at that place, I'm going to do the Mahayaga. You please come and be the sacrificial cow." Yes, it is very important to understand that in Hinduism, the lifetimes and life births are going on. So the way to understand the concept of the sacrificial cow is very in detail sentimental to the understanding of many births. And of course, the Balan agrees. He's so proud of it, and he says, "Yes, it will be an honor to be the sacrificial cow in this worship." So he comes as the sacrificial cow, and immediately this cow is taken into the sacrifice, and the cow becomes these gems. And then each part of its body becomes the gems. This is a way to share that wealth itself is not belonging to us. It is just borrowed from the nature. It is taken from the nature, Mother Earth, like the mother cow, gives it to us for us to use, and of course give it back to it in its own way. So in that way, we understand the treasures of the world around us is always something that is temporary also, and is a gift beautifully given to us with the compassion of Mother Nature, of the world around us. So in that way, the cow also represents that wealth that is going to be distributed. So the jewels, of course, the jewelry seller, this is the story. And of course, Indra, of course, comes back to the throne. But we're coming back to the scene in front of the temple where the jewelry seller is telling about all of the jewels that he has, and tells that all of these jewels are like that part, different parts of the Mata, the of the cow, and tells how wearing each of these jewels has a different significance, and it can attract different kinds of things into your life. And so much of wealth of knowledge, all of the king and all of them are surprised. And finally, to the surprise of all of them, the jewel seller blesses the boy, the prince Abhishek, as Abhisheka Pandian, he calls him, and he blesses him to have all of the wealth and create a new crown, and have a crown for himself, and enjoy the wealth. In this moment, the ministers immediately came together and said to pay the price of all these jewels. They are ready to give all the gold they had. But as soon as they were giving this suggestion to the jewelry seller, the jewelry seller disappeared, and in the sky, all of them saw the darshan of Meenakshi Sundareshwara, of Devi and Shiva themselves. and immediately they all rushed to the temple and offered their prayers and finished their worship. And of course, Abhishek Pandian was coronated, and he had the crown made from the jewels, and with the treasury, he was able to vanquish all the enemies with the blessings of Somasundareshwara, vanquish the enemies, and finally go to all of those who stole the wealth of the kingdom, his father's other sons, and then got all the wealth back and was able to bring the kingdom back to prosperity. This is a beautiful story to see how Paramashiva himself plays the Leela. The wealth that we have isn't ours by any way. It should not be felt that it will go away. It is just a blessing when it's there from Paramashiva himself. Yes, the wealth that we have is Paramashiva's, and the wealth we should be understanding is as a responsibility given to us by him. We are to manage it, increase it, share it. That is our duty and dharma, to continuously share the wealth in various ways, like how we are seeing in this Samalapita Sarvajñapita, the Annadhanam going on. It is an opportunity for everyone to offer their punya karmas and do the dhana. Dhana is a beautiful way. 13 dhanas are supposed to be done by every Hindu, and the Annadhana is one of the most important ones that should be practiced as regularly as possible for any of us practicing Hindus, because it is a way to understand that our karmic incurrences who are to be surrendered continuously back to the service of the world around us, not for our personal greeds or personal fears or anything, but whatever we incur, whatever wealth we incur, is because we are blessed and we have the punya karma to have it and the intelligence to manage it. But there is also the most intelligent and best thing to further our path towards Paramashiva, to surrender that wealth for the contribution of everyone around us. And that is the way that we understand Annadhanam should be done. Beautifully, Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Annad bhavanti purjani parjanyad anya sambhavaha, Annad bhavanti parjanyad ambas anna sambhavaha. Sharing again and again that from the food grains, the rains become possible, and the rains become possible because of the selfless sacrifice of the individuals. Yes, it is us who decide to do the tyaga of our wealth, of our services, so that will bring the grains and the rains again and again, and bring about the cycle of just enlightened living civilization. So in a few moments, we're getting ready to see the darshan of Somasundareshwara in this very Leela that we described of the Abhisheka Pandian, and how he was blessed by Somasundareshwara and ran a righteous kingdom. And we are going to see that Leela very today, celebrating these Leelas of Tiruvilayadal. We have seen from the past 3-4 days how these Leelas are so beautifully interconnected, and also give us a beautiful understanding of how available Somasundareshwara made himself to the whole world. And that was such a way to understand that that is how we lived with him and he lived with us. Yes, this is a story of not just a story, it is a history, and it lives inside all of the people's hearts inside the city of Madurai. The devotees understand always that he lives with us, he's a part of us, he's the groom who comes from Kailasa. Like that they connect with him. He's the one who Meenakshi Devi brought into our lives, and he's known as the Sundara Raja Pandian. Of course, both Meenakshi Devi and Somasundareshwara ruled an enlightened civilization, creating such possibility of devotion, tyaga, sacrifice, and healing from our lower level tendencies and coming out beautifully. The other day we heard the story of a stork, a bird, who felt completely ashamed of its own nature to need fish over the devotion to Paramashiva, and celebrating that devotion in its life is the most important thing. The stork was able to live a righteous life and got the blessings of Somasundareshwara also. And in this way, we also see that Somasundareshwara, when it comes to his blessings, immediately, without a moment's notice, he immediately showers us with whatever we are asking. And that is the way that Somasundareshwara blesses, and always is told by the Shivanadiyars that this is the way that he connects with us in the most simple ways, in the direct ways, and by addressing what we want immediately. And this is the darshan of whom we are waiting in a few moments. We'll be seeing their darshan The procession is always led by the Gaja, the elephants that lead the royal procession of the deities. And the deities, of course, they are the Utsava Vigrahas. They are the very living, breathing deity, the embodiment of Paramashiva in front of us. So they are always taken care like a living being, like a royal guest, how they would be bathed, how they would be taken, how they would be dressed, how they would be fed, the Naivedya, the food. The same way we take care of ourselves, we take care of the deities. So says the Agamic scriptures, and it's a beautiful way to live with those deities that hold the consecrated source of the cosmic energy in one place for us, that they are known as Archa Avataras, which are incarnations for the single purpose of attending to our devotion. Yes, and accept our worship, our Archana. That is what they are there to worship, they accept. So they are there to, they are known as Archavataras. Their single purpose is to give us to quench the thirst of devotion that we all have. And we're going to be seeing them in a few moments in the darshan.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda
Yes, in a few moments from now, we will be seeing the darshan of Meenakshi Sundareshwara coming to the very premises of the KAILASA Madurai. We receive them with all of the traditional offerings of the Mandagapadi that we cherish. We offer the flower garlands, we offer the various vastras to Somasundareshwara and Meenakshi. They are our mother and father, the cosmic mother and father. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shares with us again and again that they are the founding fathers of this very enlightened civilization. They were created and they gave the possibility, and you can just read and hear the stories of the Puranas and how they showed again and again how the possibility is there for us to do the in Hinduism, what we call the ritual sacrifice or the sacrifice of one's ego, and how just by surrendering to Paramashiva, surrendering to the higher cosmic intelligence and energy around us, we can have access to so much of miracles and so many possibilities in our lives. And that is what the deities again and again coming into our lives represent. And also they are literally coming into our lives. Yes, they are living amongst us, and that is the way that Hinduism shares is a reality. You are not just human beings in this world and just among the diseases or among the sufferings or the desires. You are living in a world amongst the gods, and that is the way that the temples show that the tradition itself shows that they are living with us. And by coming again and again, the Brahmotsavam, of course, is a 10-day plus long festival that is going to be celebrated, that is being celebrated right now in Kailasa all around the world. And we follow the exact way that it is done in the Madurai Meenakshi temple, reviving all of the traditions and the rituals that are done inside the Aavani Tiruvizha, inside the Madurai Meenakshi temple. They follow, of course, the Kamika Agamas, which also we follow in Kailasa. The scriptures that described how the grand festival should be done, how the grand festival should be celebrated, and how you can celebrate with the celebrative deity, the deity of Sundareshwara or Chokkanadar. And today, beautifully, in a few hours ago, we had the darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism gracing in the Somaskanda Murti. Yes, the deity that we are going to be seeing as Sundareshwara, who they lovingly call as Chokkanadar in the city of Madurai. We just had the darshan of that very form of Soma Sundareshwara. So Kanadar is Soma Sundareshwara Murti, and he is always there in the temples, especially even in Tiruvannamalai temple. He is known as Periyanayakar. In the Chidambaram temple, he is known as the Tillaivanishwarar. And all of the temples have the Utsav Vigraha, the celebrative deity. Literally, he comes to our very home, and we celebrate the whole ritual of the Mandagapadi, and just celebrating that he is there with us. And when he comes to our very doorstep, to show that he is always gracing us, always there to protect us and guiding us in our lives. Just like how we read and listened to the stories in the Tiruvilayadal Puranam, how he made sure that the righteousness and the dharma prevails, how the sacrifice and the true surrender of one's desires and one's ego can give someone the transcendence and the space of Paramashivatva, oneness with Paramashiva itself. All these possibilities are something that the Hindu traditions, they keep alive in a world where we're not seeing that much hope around, seeing this so much of impossibility or end of world times are coming in this any prospect. But if you see, the world needs this Hindu tradition, especially the traditions that are absolutely life positive and telling us that we are Paramashiva, we are more capable, we are capable of transcending all of our lower level tendencies and desires, and experiencing the true space of oneness with cosmos, oneness with the world around us, and oneness with everyone around us. So we're just waiting in a few moments. The Soma Sundareshwara will be arriving and we will be in the honor of receiving him and Meenakshi Devi. And of course, this Brahmotsavam is a Brahmotsavam where the handover of the ruling authority and administration from Meenakshi Devi happens to Somasundareshwara Swami. Yes, it is on the 25th of this month, August 25th, in the auspicious Lagnam of Kumbha Lagnam, the auspicious Muhurta, the auspicious time when the cosmos itself will be celebrating. Yes, it is not just a singular event happening in one remote corner of the world. The Pattabhishekam is a celebration all around us. Paramashiva is literally available at that moment. So join us in that time. The divine presence and grace of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We will be celebrating he himself, the Supreme Pontiff, as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam, and celebrating his coronation as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam, ruling the spiritual kingdom of the KAILASA on the Shyamalapita of the Madurai Sambrajyam, in keeping the lineage going. Even the Guru Mahasannidhanam sometimes stood as king's regents, making sure that the dharma is in cycle, and even if the king is not decided or if the king is young, like how we saw the story of the Abhisheka Pandian, the Sannidhanams played a good role in making sure that the dharma is kept alive and the kingdom is ruled. And of course, they are still ruling the spiritual context of the whole, the spiritual fiber, the fabric of the spiritual thought that is there around the temple, inside the hearts of people, who Paramashiva is, what he is for them, how he is Pati, Pashu and Pasha, and what are all the meaning of all these things that are teachings of the Jnanapada, of the Agamas, is what the Guru Mahasannidhanams ensure is told again and again to make people understand their suffering is their own manifestation, and Paramashiva is your true state, and you can achieve that state through the Diksha or the various Kriyas, and through the living of the temple Hindu ecosystem. And this is the way that the Guru Mahasannidhanams keep that spiritual heartbeat, that spiritual pulse alive. And it's a beautiful way to ourselves to connect. And of course, in this Brahmotsavam, the Somasundareshwara Pattabhishekam is going to be happening, and that is a handing over from Meenakshi to Sundareshwara. Yes, for 4 months, Devi Meenakshi rules the whole cosmos from the Madurai Samrajyam, from the month of Chitre till the month of Aavani, and then from Aavani till the next New Year and the next Chitre month, the Sundareshwara Swami rules the whole Pandya Desha, the whole universe, from the very Madurai Samrajyam. So this handover is something also we celebrate in Kailasa very grandly, with the coronation ceremonies happening. And the coronation is a beautiful way to see that the Shenghol, or the ruling staff that is given to the king, and the crown itself is passed on between Meenakshi and Sundareshwara every 8 and 4 months. And it's a beautiful ritual to see that the representatives of the Meenakshi, they come and they bring the Shenghol and the crown, hand it over to the priests of the Sundareshwara Swami, and they coronate the Sundareshwara, and then after 8 months, then it happens again. This is a beautiful cycle and a beautiful way to see the whole magnificence of Meenakshi Sundareshwara ruling the whole spiritual kingdom, and literally running the whole cosmos. There's so many facts that we want to share about Meenakshi Sundareshwara, about the Madurai Meenakshi temple. And of course, Meenakshi herself has a set of Leelas that are celebrated in the month of Chitre. That is around the April-May time. That is when Meenakshi's main Brahmotsavam happens. And of course, the Meenakshi Pattabhishekam is there. And of course, the Meenakshi Tirukalyanam is also there. And this is a celebration, the Somasundareshwara Pattabhishekam and this Aavani Tiruvizha is a celebration of what happened after the Meenakshi Pattabhishekam, Meenakshi Kalyanam. Yes, the Meenakshi Kalyanam is like the fundamental celebration of the Meenakshi Brahmotsavam. But after that, they had so many Leelas and so many ways that they conducted the whole court and the whole ecosystem and built such a civilization in the Madurai city itself. And all of those possibilities and those stories are written in a beautiful book known as Thiruvillayadal. It is one of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's favorite books, as he had grown up listening to these stories of Paramashiva. And it's not just stories, they are real happenings. They are the possibilities of how it is to be able to live with Paramashiva, live with a living deity, living God in your life. How would it be? And that is the way that the Tiruvizha share. So right now in a few moments we're going to be seeing the darshan of Meenakshi Sundareshwara coming to the very streets. The Amman street that the Kailasa in Madurai is on is just a few hundred meters away from the entrance of the main Madurai Meenakshi temple. Such a beautiful location. And of course the importance of the Shyamala Pita Sarvajna Pita very building is that in that very place, two major things are there that are sanctified and energize that place. First, it was a place where Meenakshi emerged from the Agni. Yes, when the Putra Kameshri Yajnam was done by Malayadhwaja Pandian, the father of Meenakshi and Kanchanamala, they were doing the yajna for a long time, and suddenly from the yajna a bright life-giving supernal effulgence manifested, and from that light came Meenakshi. From the Agni of the whole cosmos, Meenakshi Devi manifested as a 3-year-old small child, and she came out, and in that very location where Syamala Pita Sarvajna Pita is, this very Leela happened of Meenakshi Devi. And of course the other thing is the throne, the ruling throne of Madurai Meenakshi and Somasundareshwara is there is consecrated there in the Kailasa and the Syamala Pita's very premises. We see and feel the energy of just cosmic governance and cosmic justice whenever you do the worship or do the work inside the Shyamala Pita Sarvajna Pita. You can see when the devotees come, the continuous annadhanam is being given, and the possibility for them to raise themselves in their consciousness by giving the healing and the various spiritual programs to them is again a possibility. And of course we are seeing also that we have the deity of Dakshina Murti, the one of the primordial forms of Paramashiva. He is there at the entrance of Kailasa and the Shyamala Pita Sarvajna Pita. And of course the Utsav Vigraha, or the Vigraha of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, is also there. We worship the avatars when they happen in our lives and after they leave the body. Also Mahavishnu and all of the temple's deities are all they were once the avatars themselves, and then those avatars decided to stay in one place. They gave their own body. The physical body is a treasure, and it's literally a capsule of the whole cosmos. So the samadhis of the Meenakshi Devi is there underneath the Meenakshi Devi in temple, and that is the very she's alive there. It is not a matter of having her gone. The body itself radiates the magnificence and the consecrated energy of Meenakshi for thousands and thousands and thousands of years to come, and the energy is maintained through the regular rituals and kriyas that happen in the temple, worshipping it, remembering it is real, and celebrating it in our lives, and taking the blessings from her every day. That is the very lifestyle that is there in Kailasa Madurai. Continuously every morning we go to the temple and we see the Paliyetchi, seeing our favorite deities, Meenakshi Sundareshwara, wake up in the morning and seeing their darshan for the first time in the morning. It's the best way to start the day, and in literally the whole day you cannot be thinking about anything else. You're just lost in the remembrance of Meenakshi Sundareshwara and their darshan. But the beautiful thing is they literally make your whole day happen. Yes, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism again and again tells us and attests to the truth that the more puja you do, the more you spend time in the ritual, the more you do that, the more productive your life becomes, the more you're able to be clear and work towards manifesting what you actually have to do in your life. So yes, in a few moments you're going to get ready to see the very darshan of Meenakshi Sundareshwara. So stay tuned as we get back to you in a few moments.
bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasada
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasada
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda
Markandeya. Markandeya is a young saint. At the age of 16, he was supposed to be taken away by the death, Kala, Yama. He worships Shiva intensely. When Yama appears, Yama tries to take the life of the Markandeya. Story says Markandeya was so close to Shivalinga, he was hugging the Shivalinga. And Yama threw the rope. It fell not only on Markandeya, on Shivalinga also. So Shiva came out of that linga and killed Markandeya, killed Yamadharma, killed the death itself. Please understand the metaphysical meaning behind the whole story. When death comes, if you really are tightly, not physical Shivalinga, not physical Shivalinga, if you are tight, close to the Shiva consciousness, if you are intensely connected to the Shiva consciousness, whenever fear arises in you, be completely connected to Shiva consciousness. You are hugging Shivalinga. See, the story says beautifully, if Kala, Yamadharma has thrown the rope only on Markandeya, he would have taken his life and gone. But there was no distance between Markandeya and Shiva. Understand, this can happen only in your inner space. The awakening has happened. If Shiva is in your inner space, not otherwise. Not otherwise. Any physical linga, at least there will be few micron distance. Few microns there will be distance. If your inner space is filled with Shiva, if Yama, the death, if he throws his rope, naturally he can't catch only you. He has to throw the rope on Shiva also. And he already learnt his lesson. He will never try to throw. So be very clear. Be filled. Completely feel connected to the Shiva consciousness. You will experience what Margaret.
When Guru says Paramashivoham, I am Paramashiva, he means you are Paramashiva. When you hear that from Guru, you are Paramashiva, you should know that you are, I am Paramashiva. Means inside you, you are. That whoever is inside you, what you feel as I, that is I am Paramashiva. I tell you, nothing else is required other than this basic clarity and will persistence. I tell you. Even Yama could not do anything to a 16-year-old boy, Markandeya. He's just 16-year-old boy, Markandeya. He held himself with Paramashiva, with his will persistence, which was more stronger than the Yama pasa. Yama's rope. Yama has a pasa rope through which he can get any life out of any body. Prahlada's will persistence was most stronger than Yama's rope. I tell you, listen. Do not plan always for failure. How do I know whether I have will persistence or not? Come on. Start manifesting will persistence from now. Start manifesting powers from now. Go on counting your success.
Everything, look with this one truth. Your past is not past as you think. Your future is not future as you think. How to make your past into, how to have more future means let your past be filled with the future. So naturally your future will be pure future. There is no aging. There is no aging. Understand? When you relax into the space of conflict-free zone, Yama, Lord of Death, when he tries to take you, please understand, the pasa rope, the rope which he is using, is the conflict between the thought and engram. Means attachment. Attachment only makes your thought into engram. That is the rope which he uses, pasha, to take the life out of body, means to make the aging process complete. When Lord of Yama throws that pasha on you, because your inner space is not converting thoughts into engrams, that pasa, that rope will fall on the pure consciousness which is Shiva, and he will destroy Yama. It will just fall on Shiva, whom you are holding. Like how Markandeya was holding, he was holding on to the Shivalinga, and Yama came and threw his pasha. And because he was holding on to Shivalinga, it did not fall on Markandeya, it fell on Shiva. And Shiva kicked the Yama. The usual process. So just all you need is do not allow the thought to get converted into engram. Thoughts are not enemies as we think. Don't worry. It is just simple poor fishes jumping for their food or fun. But you taking note and trying to give food or trying to give some ball for them to play. No, they are all dolphins. They don't have any ball. See, we should be very generous. Why not get some balls and balloons for them to play? Why not make their life more entertaining? Now they have the load of kicking the ball. Till then it was a fun. If they want, they jump. If they don't want, they don't. Once you provide the ball and food, buffered rice, now they have to eat, they have to play. The whole thing is routine now. That is where the play and fun becomes game. Let play and fun not become game in your life. Game means the winning and losing and prize. Play means just. Fun means just. So any thought which just happens is play and fun. But when it becomes engram, it's a game. Game is the most dangerous thing. Fun is the most funny thing. Understand, do not allow the Kailasa's pasha, the Yama's noose in your inner space to convert thought into engram, you will see the noose will fall on Shiva and Shiva will kick Yama. And Yama, because already he got one kick, he will never come near you. When he sees you are there holding Shiva. That's all is the whole science of aging. I have not only given the science of aging, the solution for anti-aging,
listen. Consider this line, straight line, as present moment. Now, every thought happens between past and future. Please listen. Actually, from morning I am giving you different truths about time. Now all those zigzag puzzles will fall in place if you just grasp this one. All thoughts, it can be as simple as feeling like having a cup of tea, or as complicated as politically strategizing for some victory. It can be as simple as wanting to have a cup of coffee, or as complicated as political strategizing for some victory. Any thought, thought means movement between past and future. Thought means nothing but you move to the past and future. This is past. Let's consider this as past, and this as future. The center moment, present, where the present meets the past and future. That moment is now. This is that now. Present. Understand, if these lines symbolically represent time, means this board is the space. Symbolically, this board represents space. On space only the whole time happens. Space is the most subtlest matter on which the play of time happens. Just understand this example. Your movement between past and future is thought. Like you jump from here to there to here to there to here to there to here. That is what I call your perception about you, life, your existence. Your existence is nothing but the movements. Because till you know your real reality, as on now, whatever you know about you is nothing but your thinking. Am I right? Is there anything you know about you more than your thinking? Anybody? If you know something more about you, more than your thinking, this seat is for you. See, whatever you know about you is all based on your thinking. So, I can very comfortably assume your thinking is your reality, as on now. Am I right? So, it is all about you jumping into the past and future, past and future, past and future. That's all is your thinking. That's all is your, what you call as you. See, what I call as you is much beyond than what you call as you. So now I am talking about what you call as you. It's all about movements between the past and future. And I want you to know, it has a direct utility in your life's balance sheet. So please don't think it is some philosophy, it is some metaphysics, it is some intellectual stuff. Allow every word to enter into you. It can increase your everyday balance sheet. Double. It can increase your everyday balance sheet. So allow this understanding to set into your system. I can make you alive. Listen. Your will can never be against the will of the cosmos. Your will can never be against the will of the planets. Your will can never be against the will of the universe. Because you have not willed, planets continue to do their allotted responsibility.
Yes, we have live with us from Kailasa, Madurai. We are seeing the procession being led by the Nandi. Yes, the Nandi that is playing the bheram. The Nandi always plays the drums and leads the procession. There is the drum of the Nandi being played. And following the Nandi, we have the magnificent Gaja. The Gaja is a royal ambience that it creates just in its breathing space and the way that people connect with such a large animal. It is just a representation that there is someone larger than life that is going to be coming next. And its own Gaja is very devoted to Paramashiva, and we worship it and welcome it at our premises in Kailasa, Madurai. And first we have Mahaganapati, to whom we worship first, who leads the procession. We offer our devotion and all of the Mandagapati offerings to him praying to Him to remove all obstacles in life and treasuring His presence in our life, always taking care of us and making sure we always have auspicious beginnings. Then we have Subramanya Swami, who is accepting all of our offerings, the Mandagabadi offerings, who is the Lord of Valor, courage, giving us the strength of Paramashivatva in our lives. The strength of oneness is what's given by Subramanya in our lives. And next we have coming up, we will be having the darshan of Chokkanadar Sundareshwara Swami. He is the very Lord of the Madurai right now. He is going to be coronated in a few days, just this very deity. He is going to be ruling the kingdom. And of course we have the head priest holding the Shanghol, the Rajya Shanghol of Nandi Shanghol, represents the spiritual kingdom of the Madurai Samrajyam. And after that we have Chokkanadar himself coming at the very entrance of our Kailasa para Madurai. We offer him our divine devotion, all of our respects, and the Mandagabadi offerings, flower garlands and the Nutana Vastrams are offered at his divine lotus feet. We pray to him for showering us with all the auspicious blessings of enlightenment, of this beautiful enlightened civilization, and we pray to him that all of us and all of our efforts to revive all of the traditions is successful. All of our purpose to find Paramashivatva, live, radiate and spread all of these truths to the world, all of these are, we pray, are blessed. We offer to him the Nutana Vastram as our cherished gift, and we treasure his presence in front of us in our lives right now. Halasyanada, Hala Hala Sundarar, Soma Sundara, the one who is wearing upon his head his own devotee. Just how he takes care of us, all of us, he is the one who has Soma, the moon, on his head, and we offer to him and the Periyavide our divine devotion and gratitude. We pray for the success of all of us, the success and the blessings to be showered for all of our efforts to ensure that all of these traditions are revived as per his instruction, as per his blessing, as per their guidance, and we offer them our love and devotion. Of course, next we have the Devi Meenakshi herself, Angayar Kanni, Hala Hala Sundari, Devi Meenakshi. We pray to her to give us the courage to remember that she is always there. She is the mother in our lives, continuously showering us, showing us our higher possibility, giving us all of the compassion of the whole cosmos beautifully. Devi is gracing us today in a yellow Pidambara sari, just like how her own brother Hari will wear the yellow dress. She is gracing us in the yellow dress, beautifully decorated in the Sarva Alankara, magnificently in the Sapparam, in the golden Mandapam. We worship her today. We offer our Mandagabadi offerings and treasure her in our lives. We pray to her. She is our mother. She is the mother of the whole cosmos, Meenakshi Devi, who has manifested in our lives as our beloved Swamiji himself. Next we have the final deity of the procession, Shri Chandigeshwara Swami, who is the Lord Accountant. We surrender to him all of our devotion, all of our integrity when it comes to handling all of the assets that all ultimately belong to Paramashiva, thanking him for reminding us that we are here to celebrate Paramashiva in our life, and all of our wealth is ultimately Paramashiva's. And finally, we are seeing in this Shyamalapita Sarvagnya Pita, the Prasada is being distributed, and now the puja is also going to be offered to the Vigraha of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Pratyaksha Murti is there inside the temple. We offer to him our divine gratitude and deep devotion. He is the one who has revived all of this and made the beautiful whole digital ecosystem for all of us, for us to be able to have the darshan of Meenakshi Sundareshwara and reviving all of these traditions and bringing it to our home in every way possible. So we offer now our arati to him. Om Hamsa Hamsaya Vidmahe Paramahamsaya Dhimahi Tanno Hamsa Prachodayat. Om Hamsa Hamsaya Vidmahe Paramahamsaya Dhimahi Tanno Hamsa Prachodayat. ॐ हंस हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंस प्रचोदयात्. We pray to the Adi Guru Dakshinamurti, the primordial Guru, a magnificent manifestation of Paramashiva, who represents all of the space of our deep silence and ultimate space of oneness with Paramashiva. As you can see, the Annadanam has begun and the food is being served inside the KAILASA in Madurai, and food being continuously given. If you are interested in offering, you can scan the QR code or go to the link in the description and make your offering to make a difference in the world with the Annadhanam. And now in a few moments we will be having the very darshan of the deities in the Adi Kailasa temple. They are also in the Sarvalankara, and we celebrate them also, offering our worship to Nithyananda Ishwara Paramashiva Somasundareshwara Swami, Nithyananda Ishwari Paramashiva Shakti Meenakshi Devi, and the Utsava Vigraha of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Yes, it is in the Adi Kailas temple, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has beautifully created a training ground for all of us to be able to treasure all of these traditions and really live them in the deities. The beautiful, magnificent deities of Somasundareshwara, Meenakshi Devi are there, celebrating Nithyanandeshwara, Nithyanandeshwari, who are in the very breathing space of Adi Kailasa. The banyan tree, which is the manifestation of Mahasadashiva, with thousands of heads and thousands of bodies. This banyan tree is the very Paramashiva himself in the living form. The Kamika Agama tells so much about worshipping Paramashiva in the form of the tree, in the form of the hill, and other natural elements in our lives. And the banyan tree in Bidhi is Paramashiva. We worship him, remember him. Just by remembering the banyan tree, you can have the healing experience. You can heal yourself from anything in your life, whether it is the smallest cold to the biggest diseases. You can really remember the banyan tree, the healing banyan tree, and heal yourself immediately. After this, we will be having the darshan of the deities in the Adi Kailas temple and offering our puja to the Shatmurti. We are celebrating in this Brahmotsavam, that is Somasundareshwara Swami, Meenakshi Devi, Mahaganapati, and then the deity of Ganapati, Subramanya, and Chandikeshwara, and also the Utsava Vigraha of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We now offer our divine puja and respects. Nithyanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasya Dilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Samarambham Nithyanandeshwari Paramashiva Shakti Madhyamam Nithyananda Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Lalate Tripundri Nitiladhita Kasturi Tilagaha Spuranmaladhara Spurita Gadikopi Navasanaha Dano Dushtaram Chirashiphanirajam Shishikaram Pridhipas Sarvesham Arunagiri Yogi Vijayate. अथ धूपः ओम दशांगम गुग्गुलोपेतं सुगंधं सुमनोहरम् आग्रेयः सर्वदेवानां धूपोऽयं हृदि गृह्यताम्। श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति मीनाक्षी अंबिका समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिव सोमसुंदरेश्वर स्वामिने नमः। श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूप भगवत श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। धूपमाघ्रापयामि। तद्दीपः ओम साज्यं त्रिवत्ति संयुक्तं वह्निना योजितं मया ग्रहाणमंगलं दीपं त्रैलोक्यतिमिरापहम्। श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति मीनाक्षी अंबिका समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिव सोमसुंदरेश्वर स्वामिने नमः। श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। दीपं संदर्शयामि। तनैवेद्यम् ओम भम अमृते अमृतोद्भवे अमृतवर्षिणी अमृतं श्रावय श्रावय स्वाहा। श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति मीनाक्षी देव अंबिका समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिव सोमसुंदरेश्वर स्वामिने नमः। श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। नैवेद्यं निवेदयामि। निवेदनानन्तरमाचमनं समर्पयामि। नीराजनम् ओम तन्महेशाय विद्महे वाग्विशुद्धाय धीमहि तन्नः शिवः प्रचोदयात्। ओम गणाम्बिकायै विद्महे महातपायै धीमहि तन्नो गौरी प्रचोदयात्। ओम हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंस प्रचोदयात्। कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति मीनाक्षी अंबिका समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिव सोमसुंदरेश्वर स्वामिने नमः। श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। कर्पूर नीराजनं संदर्शयामि। रक्षां धारयामि। शोणाद्रीशावताराय ज्योतिस्तंभस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलं। तत्त्वज्ञानप्रदाताय नित्यानन्देश्वररूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलं। मूलप्रकृतिरूपाय परमशिवशक्तिस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलं। दण्डत्रिशूलहस्ताय कालकालस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलं। सर्वाभयविनाशकाय शत्रुसंहाररूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलं। आदिपूज्याय देवाय सकृत्पूर्णत्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलं। योगभट्टाभिषिक्ताय राजसन्न्यासधारिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलं। सार्वभौमैकवत्याय राजराजार्चिताय च श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलं। मङ्गलं कल्पवृक्षाय मङ्गलं ज्ञानदायिने परमशिवाय श्रीनित्यानन्देश्वराय मङ्गलं। मङ्गलं श्रीविद्याम्बायै मङ्गलं कामदायिन्ये सर्वमङ्गलदात्री नित्यानन्देश्वर्यै मङ्गलं। मङ्गलं गुरुदेवाय मोक्षमूलाय मङ्गलं। परमावताराय नित्यानन्दाय गुरवे मङ्गलं। त्वं स्मृतमहं धन्य मम प्राणमहेश्वर। गङ्गाधरनामेति स्तोत्रस्थानं ददाम्यहं। हरि ओं तत्सत्। सर्वं भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव पादुकार्पणमस्तु। ओम नित्यानंदम्। Nithyanandam. Thank you all for joining us for this beautiful Mandagabadi offering and Lagu Puja offering to all of the deities of this Aavani Tiruvizha Brahmotsavam. Join us again today evening and it's around 7 p.m., 8 p.m. IST we'll be we're seeing now the Annadhanam also going on throughout the day. We are celebrating the Annadhanam celebrations throughout the Brahmotsavam as well, feeding all of the devotees of the Meenakshi Sundareshwara and always receiving them and celebrating that they are the very embodiment of Meenakshi Sundareshwara in our lives, as the original Shastras say of how you should take care of a devotee of Paramashiva. In that same way, we celebrate these devotees who come and offer them the free Annadhanam, the very dhana that is there, as the Hindus should practice in their lives. So you can contribute to the continuous Annadhanam that is going on. Please scan the QR code or go to the link in the description to offer your donation to the Annadhanam. Thank you all for joining us today's celebrations, and we'll see you again today evening for the evening procession celebrations. We'll again receive Chokkanadar Meenakshi Devi, thanking the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, for providing us this beautiful, wonderful digital nation of Kailasa, bringing all of the Hindu revival right in the way that we are consuming all of the media today in the social media. Thanking the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, offering our devotion at his divine lotus feet. We end today's segment with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tatsat. Sarvam Bhagavachi Nithyananda Paramashiva Padukarpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda.
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham.